People in the service industry, what are some really dumb ways you've caught someone trying to cheat the system? At my McDonald's, this guy came with his 2 young kids and got Happy Meals, and then called me over and said, "This cheeseburger has no meat," and demanded that he get another cheeseburger, and then one of his kids said, "Dad, you just ate it," referring to the meat in the cheeseburger. Congratulations sir, you played yourself. My favorite in my McDonald's are the people who don't realize our soda fountain is behind the counter, and they ask for a cup for water. So, we get them a cup of water and hand it to them. They realize they can't fill it with the soda they wanted, and then they go ahead and order a soda anyway. Best caught in the act moment ever. A delightfully drunk man insisted that the mop he was carrying away was his. You brought it with you on a winery tour? Yes. I think a super popular one that most people are probably familiar with would be, "Let me talk to your manager." This is especially common when you are simply doing your job as instructed, following rules and policies, and you tell the customer something that don't want to hear. My ticket says it expires on the 1st of January, 2014. Can I still use that today? No ma'am, I'm afraid not. Since the ticket is expired, you will not be able to use it. You'll need to buy a new ticket. What? Nobody ever told me I couldn't use the ticket just because it's expired. This is ridiculous. You're trying to steal my money. Let me talk to your manager right now. They are going to let me use this ticket or I will sue you. Oh yeah, on that subject, threatening a lawsuit is another popular one that people try all day long. I had a manager who loved dealing with customers like this. She would always approach them on the sales floor, and then just start walking towards the store entrance while the customer walked beside her yelling and complaining the whole time. She'd just nod and agree with them until they were standing in the entrance, at which point she'd cut them off by assuring them the problem would be dealt with, as she turned and walked back into the store. Never once did a customer follow her back in. It really was a thing of beauty. Former fancy pants hotel worker here. We have a strict no smoking in the hotel policy, because A, it's a city law, and B, old, historic building. But foremost, the city law dictates that if you allow smoking in your business, the air quality has to meet this impossible standard. I'm not sure what that standard is, but you can look up Mike Ditka's restaurateur and the smoking ban for details. Anyhow, even with a $300 fine detailed at check-in, and also in room, people would still try to smoke in the rooms and get away with it. If they didn't leave evidence we couldn't charge them, but oddly enough, nobody was ever that smart. On one occasion, the room was rank with smoke, and the housekeeper found a pop can loaded with cigarette butts. We actually photograph, tag, and inventory these items, because people would tend to dispute these charges. So, when presented with the evidence, the lady tells us that she was smoking outside the building, ashing into her hand, and then carrying her ashes up to her room on the 14th floor, and carefully depositing all of her ashes into the tiny hole of the pop can. She unsuccessfully disputed her charges. For your information, the $300 charge is in place, because we cannot sell the room until the air quality is that of a room where somebody was not smoking. With a good ozone machine, that might take a day or two. I used to work as a hostess at a popular wing place. Once we had a family come through, and when it was time to pay, they handed their server a Denny's coupon. The server was like, "This is for Denny's, not for here." And the customer said, "Oh, I just thought I would try it anyways, you never know." We used to have free food for happy hour. Just some deep fried Cisco crap like chicken tenders or jalapeno poppers. So many people would come in, order a water, load up on free apps and leave. We would stagger bringing them out, a tray at a time, for the whole happy hour. The people who were not paying for any drinks often had the balls to get upset and complain when they weren't coming out in a timely manner. Worked at Office Depot. The rewards program used to give a % of purchases back to the customer in the form of a gift card every quarter. One cashier at Office Depot decided to sign up for the rewards program under her name and scan customers' purchases throughout the day under her own account. She ended up accruing thousands of dollars in rewards in one quarter. This is with 1% back on most purchases, which was more than any other customer in the southeast region of the US. Needless to say, it wasn't very difficult for management to realize what had happened. Shortly after that incident, Office Depot switched up the rewards program so this couldn't happen again. It didn't happen to me, but a co-worker of mine shipped a guitar to a customer once, and the customer called in saying he never received it, demanding a replacement be sent immediately or else he would sue. Tracking info said it was delivered and signed for, but delivery theft is still pretty common. On a whim though, my co-worker looked him up on Facebook only to find him holding the guitar in his profile picture, with the caption, "My new guitar just arrived." Management sent him a screenshot of that. He was never heard from again. They thought they were cheating the system. This is really dumb. Prepare yourselves. In my grocery store, we often have a buy one get two free deal on a certain brand of bread that runs about $4.50 a loaf. Yeah, it's a great deal. A woman and her daughter were in my line whispering to each other and giggling. They had about 12 loaves of bread in the cart. I ring them up and scan their club card, and the total comes to $18. The woman starts huffing and puffing and telling me I'm trying to rip her off, and I should owe her $18. It takes me and my manager a while to figure out why the hell this woman thinks we need to pay her for taking 12 loaves of bread, and we come to the conclusion that she thought that since you get $9 worth of stuff free for every $4.50 you spend, that you're left with minus $4.50 or something. Because you know, on BOGO deals you don't pay anything in this woman's mind. I scanned the shirt without looking carefully, and it rang up at $16.99. The customer politely asked me to check the tag, because it was marked $10. I apologized and took a look. The clearance sticker was placed in the entirely wrong place, leaving the regular price barcode completely exposed, so that's what the scanner picked up. I apologized again, and explained that the tickets didn't match up, but we'd have somebody run a confirmatory price check. That was the first item I had scanned, so I was extra vigilant with his other items, all of which had improperly placed clearance tickets. They were all men's big and tall sizes, but at least one of the clearance tags was from Junior Miss. Some of the items were already clearanced, but with a replace tag for just $2 or $3 difference. I would have caught it eventually, but pointing out the scanning error is what tipped me off. Throughout the whole thing, the guy was unfailingly polite, so I kept thanking him for his patience while we ran 4 price checks. He still bought $50 worth of stuff. Another favorite was when one of our known shoplifters, the kind who does it as a criminal enterprise, turned in a job application. We had her on camera stealing handbags earlier that day. Those people who ask for cups of water and a bowl of lemons wedges, then proceed to make lemonade with sugar packets at the table. This happened quite a few times when I was a waitress. I get that water is free, and lemons are technically free, but honestly, the lemon wedges probably cost the business more than a cup of lemonade. My manager would just have me charge them for a drink. Honestly, what are you doing going out to eat, if paying for a drink is such a big deal for you? I once saw a woman at a Longhorn's chain steakhouse walk out with the entire bowl of those small packaged mints. The hostess was in such shock that by the time she walked out to say something, the woman already drove off. Had a lady call our Pizza Hut claiming that we gave her hard undercooked wings that sent her daughter to the hospital, and wanted us to pay her medical bills. However, none of the 5 or 6 phone numbers she provided showed any orders for wings or anything else in our system or the nearest few stores. I don't know if she just expected us to give her thousands of dollars on hearsay. The gym I work at has a check-in computer that none of us employees ever check. We know everyone by name, and maybe every once in a while we check memberships. Not our job, but the job of the manager who is completely absent. If someone needs to pay, a message pops up after check-in that they need to pay, but it gets deleted when the member hits enter. So I checked this one guy on a random whim. He hadn't paid his membership in over a year. Next time he came in, he scanned his card and hit enter. I was standing behind him and said, "So, for a year, you've been pretending to scan in and all the while you know you haven't paid your membership? Man, if things are so bad for you you can't afford $30. I'll gift you a charity membership through our poverty program. Are you interested? He said, no. Here's $30. I'll pay from now on. About 2 months later, he stopped coming in. What I hated was he was a friend at that point. Yeah, some friend. Steal from where I work and smile and hug me every time you come in. La. Creep. Get the duck out of my gym.